Direction of the movies totally depend on the marketing. I want to know your point of view.
But my thought is it's 50% the movie and it's 50% the marketing of the movie. It's really half and half. And the best executives are thinking about both from the very, very beginning, how the movie is going to be sold and how good the movie is. But there are examples of terrible movies that have done very well because of the marketing and great movies that have failed because of the marketing.
As you told, you got failed. So what was the motivation to you to learn from that thing, and what was the motivation for you, sir?
The motivation for me, truthfully, probably my parents. I really wanted to, I was always trying to prove, probably my father. My father was an entrepreneur. He's retired now, but he had a successful art gallery, and he always emphasized the importance of having your own business. And I think what started out, maybe it's still true, but certainly what started out is wanting to show him that I could do that. So I would say that was a major motivating factor for me. Probably it still is too.
When you failed in some things, what is the learning you had?
I think I've definitely always learned more from failure than from success. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important, you know, at our company we have a meeting. We have a bunch of meetings, but every Monday morning we have a long meeting and we talk about the different movies and different projects that are out there. And I like to give people credit at the company who find projects that we've done well with. I also like to give people credit to the company who've passed on projects that haven't done well in other places. And I think it's really important to look at both, to look at success and to look at failure. The thing I've learned most from failure is that the more failure that you have, the easier it is to get up and keep trying again. And I still struggle with it, but I struggle with it less because I've had a lot of it. There's a show, this is kind of different than what we were talking about before, but I think it's an interesting example of how you, at some point, you kind of have to, I guess I'm always trying to find the balance of when do you finally give up, is one of the things I think about. And we had a reality show that we were pitching about 2 or 3 months ago, and it was a reality show about morticians, which is very grim, but it fit with our company. And I thought this was a terrific idea for a show, and we pitched this show because I really liked the show a lot and I was involved with it. We pitched it to a lot of people, and everyone said no. And actually, as I was on the plane over here, I was actually thinking, maybe it's better we didn't do that show about morticians. So I think that's another interesting thing, is to kind of find the balance of when you fail, when do you listen to the world that's giving you, you know, how much of that negative do you listen to and tweak what you're doing versus not listening at all? And that's something I try and balance all the time.
Wonderful. What I have learned is that, first of all, what I learned is that there is no failure till you accept it.
There's no failure?
There is no failure till you accept it.
Right.
Till you accept the failure, there is no failure in life.
That's true.
That's one thing. And secondly, when you fail in doing something, perceivably, you learn more and more out of that failure. Then you learn from successes, as you also said.
Yeah.
And never be afraid of failure. Now here we have a success story, little bit success story. A gentleman, young man who started making a first-time entrepreneur, who started making LED lights, and he met failure, but he didn't give up. And let us look at the story.
रिश्तों को अगर सहेज कर रखा जाए तो वो जिंदगी को और भी खूबसूरत बना देते हैं। और जिंदगी का ये सच पुनीत ने जाना डॉक्टर सुभाष चंद्रा से। दिल्ली के रहने वाले पुनीत शर्मा एक नामी इलेक्ट्रिकल कंपनी में काम करते थे। 2010 में पुनीत ने नौकरी छोड़कर अपना एलईडी लाइट्स का बिजनेस शुरू किया। काम ठीक चल रहा था, लेकिन उम्मीद अनुसार सफलता नहीं मिल रही थी।
काम कर रहा था, बट जो मैं अचीव करना चाह रहा था वो नहीं कर पा रहा था। फिर मैंने डॉक्टर शो सुभाष चंद्र शो देखा, उनका जयपुर का एपिसोड था रिगार्डिंग रिलेशनशिप, कि आप रिलेशनशिप्स का ज़िंदगी में क्या महत्व है, ये उन्होंने बोला था। तो उसी को सुन के मेरे को एक माइंड में आइडिया स्ट्राइक करा और मैंने जो मेरे पुराने कॉन्टैक्ट्स थे उनको रिवाइव करा, उनको ढूंढा और उनसे बात करा, और आज 1 महीने पहले मैं जो चाहता था वो हुआ। अभी मेरा किसी एक बहुत बड़ी कंपनी से टाइप चल रहा है।
अपने प्रोफेशनल रिश्तों की बदौलत पुनीत को एक बड़ी बिजनेस डील मिल गई। डॉक्टर सुभाष चंद्रा शो देखकर उनको कई नए आइडियाज भी मिलने लगे और इन आइडियाज को सफल होते देख पुनीत का आत्मविश्वास भी दोगुना हो गया।
हम स्कूल जाते हैं, टीचर एक आइडिया देता है जिससे हम अपने एग्ज़ाम्स देते हैं, जो भी कुछ पढ़ाई करते हैं। तो सेम आपको बिज़नेस के लिए जो आइडिया चाहिए वो डॉक्टर सुभाष चंद्रा शो से मेरे को मिला, और एक नहीं बहुत सारे आइडियाज़ हैं वहाँ पे, और प्रॉपर गाइडेंस है। आप कभी भी अपनी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, आपको कोई भी प्रॉब्लम फेस करना है, आप डॉक्टर सुभाष चंद्रा से कॉन्टेक्ट करेंगे शो में, क्लब में, तो आपको रिस्पॉन्स मिलेगा।
एक सोच तभी सफल है जब उस पर कोई अमल करने वाला हो, और पुनीत की ही तरह डॉक्टर चंद्रा की सोच को सच में बदलकर सफलता पाने वाले लोग हमें यकीन दिलाते हैं कि इनकी तरह हम भी सही राह पर हैं।
Good. This chap was failing in the business, but he saw this show and he got some idea that when you know a lot of people, develop your relationship, go back to them, maybe they can help, somebody can help, and somebody did help and he is now successful.
Very cool.
So, as a producer, what are your views that for the success of a movie, the box office collection matters or the great story? What are your views?
That's a great question. We did a movie last year called Whiplash, which didn't have very good box office, but it had good critical response. So I would change a little bit. What we think about a lot is what's more important, the critical response as opposed to good story is subjective. The critical response or the box office? And my answer to your question is they're both important, but we try really hard to address that question first, not later. And I think one of the big mistakes that Hollywood makes is they're always trying to do both. And I think when you do both, you oftentimes risk winding up with neither one. So there are certain movies, obviously we try and make all our movies good and to have good stories, but there are certain movies that we're very clear that we're making this because it's commercial.
But tell me, Jason, why only horror movies?
For us?
Yes? Why you don't want to look at other genres?
We look at them occasionally, but I feel like Pixar means something, Disney means something, and what I'm pushing, that's my dream, 20 years in the future, right? To someday, that Blumhouse really, when that comes up on your TV or on Apple TV, that you know you're going to get a specific kind of content behind that, and I think that's helped us so far, and I think that's what I'm kind of aiming for, so that's why we continue to do scary.
That's wonderful. Okay, so this was all about basically entrepreneurship. You can see that how he started, he didn't get afraid of failure. Have passion, have faith, have confidence in yourself, in your ideas, and you will succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.